Akwaba Metafapa. Thank you for joining me in my kitchen today for yet another delicious recipe. So this one I just had to share. It was a recipe that, I wasn't thinking, shall I or shall I not? But it was just so good. It's the type of roast chicken that ticks all the boxes for you. Delicious, moorish, juicy, tasty, flavorful. Oh my goodness, name it, and this was it. So I know you have pulled up a chair already. Yes, sit tight and let's get straight into it. So what we need are some fresh rosemary, some fresh lemons, some sage, fresh or dried would do, some parsley, some Aftrad Village Kitchen's 10 spice blend, some olive oil, the fresh poultry, chicken as well, some butter, melted butter, and some salt to taste. So to the melted butter, I used some couple of tablespoons of butter, which I melted in the microwave. I added in some salt, and I added in some Aftrad Village Kitchen's 10 spice blend. It's an all-pepper spice with a lot of spices like aniseed, black pepper, white pepper, ginger, onion powder. So lots of spices in there. And to that I added some parsley and some sage, dried sage and dried parsley. So, and then I added in some freshly grated ginger and some lemon juice. Okay, so this was my sous chef helping me out, my eldest son helping me out. He really loves cooking. He loves baking actually, and I've been trying to get him into cooking as well, because you can't just eat baked stuff all the time. So yeah, he's been doing really well helping me out in the kitchen. So yeah, was when he poured in the lemon juice into the mixture of butter and the other spices and mixed all of that up. Okay, and that's all you need to do for this recipe. The next step was to lift the skin off the flesh of the chicken. This was to help us put the sauce that we've made on the chicken, inside the chicken, not just on it but inside, so that whilst it's roasting, all the flavors can penetrate, and adding the butter helps to retain moisture in the chicken. That is the secret tip here. Okay, if you don't want to add the butter, well, you can leave that out. Just make a mixture of the herbs with a bit of olive oil, but the butter, I must say, adds another touch of flavor, so just add a tiny bit. All right, and yeah, so I just try to lift all the skin around the chicken, so that we'll have lots of the mixture going in. So now that the skin had been lifted off the flesh, I decided to salt it a bit before adding in the sauce. All right, I love to do this because sometimes the flavor doesn't penetrate the skin properly, so a bit of salt before adding in anything, the spices, I think helps, but you can choose not to do this bit. So then I packed the cavity of the chicken with some lemons and the fresh rosemary. I would actually say do that at the last bit, because hey, by the time I turned it over, everything was out. All right, so yes, in the cavity I poured some of the marinade, and then lifted the skin round the chicken and poured the marinade through it, so that the flesh would suck in this marinade. And when it is baking, I mean, the aroma of the marinade as it was just so flavorful. It smelled so good, and I thought this is going to be a really good chicken, and it was indeed. So on the skin too, I added some of the sauce, and then I just made sure I massage it really well everywhere, into the skin, of this chicken. The whole poultry was really wrapped well, and then I pushed its legs into its cavity to help contain everything that I had put in there. But that leg was quite stubborn. It popped out the moment it went into the oven. But anyway, so you can choose to tack it in or not tack it in, but it just helps at the beginning to help contain the lemon and the fresh parsley that have been put into its cavity. So at this point, it was time to roast this chicken. Okay, and I roasted it at 180 degrees Celsius. So preheated the oven and roasted this chicken. It took about 2 hours for this chicken to cook, and in between, whilst cooking, I took it out, basted it with the sauce, and then turned it over to make sure there was an even brownness all over the chicken. And it was so succulent and juicy, and the aroma was so good. I hope you have liked this recipe so far. This is all there is to this recipe, all right? It is this easy. It looks this easy, and it is indeed this easy, but it is very delicious. I hope you have liked this recipe. If you have, please click on that notification button if you're already a subscriber. If not, click on that button to subscribe so that more of these recipes will be brought to you. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I love your support, and I've seen the love that you have been giving me recently, so thank you so much. Just look at this juicy chicken. It was so juicy. It was ready. I mean, all that sauce that's on the tray is all flavor. Okay, so don't throw it away. You can use it to keep your roast chicken moist, nice and moist, especially when you are waiting for the other bits of things you're serving the poultry with to cook. Okay, and yes, so it was time to cut up this chicken, and of course the easiest thing to do is to place it on a chopping board and then cut it up. But I don't like to do that because on the chopping board, some of this juice will drain away. You lose all that juice. So I like to keep it in the tray and cut it up in the tray. After I cut it up and it lies in the tray, it soaks up its own juices, okay, and keeps it nice and moist and still very flavorful. So as you can see, everything was cooked well. It was juicy. It looked good. As I'm doing this voiceover, I can still taste this roast chicken in my mouth. It was very delicious. So I have listed all the ingredients that I used in the description box, so please have a look and try this. Okay, you can never go wrong with this kind of recipe, even if you do not follow the measurements to the latter. All right, so yeah, I cut it up and I served it up. We made this for Jollof Rice Day. If you don't know, August the 24th or the 22nd is known to be World Jollof Rice Day, and my kids and I have been celebrating Jollof Rice Day in our home so every single year. So we always make jollof rice to celebrate it, and this delicious roast chicken went with some jollof rice. I have cooked jollof rice on this channel a number of times. There are recipes on here for you to try. All right, but I will bring you how we made the whole thing together. So look out for it. See you soon.